Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. It is such an honor to be here in Mumbai with all of you. My name is Sandra de Castro Buffington, and I'm Director of Hollywood Health and Society, a program of the Norman Lear Center, which is part of the University of Southern California's Annenberg School for Communication and Journalism. I am so pleased to bring together this extraordinary group of panelists for the From Hollywood to Bollywood, How Film and TV Reach Global Audiences on Key Health Topics. This panel is part of a larger endeavor to bring Hollywood scriptwriters and producers to India. We're looking at global health issues in a local context. Our group is spending a week here visiting communities, health clinics, hospitals, and connecting with people so that we can hear their stories. And our goal is really to inspire this wonderful group of colleagues about Indian culture and some of the extraordinary innovative solutions we've seen here to some of the challenging health problems of our time. We're very grateful to have been received so well and so warmly from the people we've met and to hear their stories. Today, there is a growing trend in entertainment to look around the world for information and stories. Writers worldwide are investigating topics with global reach, exploring the ways that different countries and cultures interact and affect one another. Tonight, we have with us some of the top creative talent of India and the United States. These master storytellers are here to speak with you about the ways they portray health topics in entertainment storylines and how entertainment can teach viewers about health. First, we are very fortunate to have with us this evening Sri Ramesh Sippy, who will be making opening remarks. Mr. Sippy is a household name in the film and television industries, with a wildly successful career that spans over 50 years. Some of his best-known films include the action-adventure film Sholay, as well as Shan, Shakti, and Sagar. Mr. Sippy also directed the groundbreaking TV series Bunyad, which focused on the India and Pakistan partition. Mr. Sippy is currently a trustee on the board of the Mumbai Academy of Moving Images and serves as the president of the Film and Television Producers Guild of India. Now I'm pleased to invite Sri Ramesh Sippy to share his opening remarks with the group. Mr. Sippy.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I need to say something. I am here because I want to be here. I feel this is something very important. With the world growing smaller, all the telecommunications and everything, it is extremely important that health carries its importance all the way, and people become as aware of the problems and their solutions, possible solutions. Because the problems sometimes come when we don't know about them or can't do anything about them. But if there are things that can really be done about it and we don't know about it, that's sad. So this forum here, these lovely people have been associated with spreading this knowledge about health. And during my career, as I made my films, I often found a certain lack of knowledge, because when I had a situation where I needed information, I found it wasn't all there as I really wanted it to be. So I had to really look hard, meet a lot of people, and find out as much as I could before, because I wanted to be as right as possible. Yes, today we have Google and everything, and you can just go online and get as much information as you like, but it's not the same thing like what is being planned by this, by these lovely people here. They are here to help take it forward and help you individually, whether you're a writer or a director making a film, because everyone's aim is very simply that let the world know not only that there is a problem, but there's a solution too, at least a possible solution or something as close to it as possible. I would definitely look upon it as something wonderful to happen to us here, and if it can, it's now called the Hollywood Health and Society. So if it's going to be Bollywood Health and Society as well, to follow up, as Bollywood seems to be following up on everything. So I see it a step in the right direction. But even if we don't get as far as that, or it takes some time to get there, Hollywood Health and Society is there to help us. And I think it is, if the writers and directors get together, they don't have to actually do anything more than what is necessary in their scripts. But once they're aware of something, and there'll always be an opportunity, whether it's in a film or it's on television, for something like this to come up, where you need, through your characters, you can take that information forward. And the beauty of film and television, the dramatic exposure and the intense audience participation in that is what helps to get the message across, to get this information across. If you just stand up and make a documentary, or if you say it in a normal way, call people like this in a hall and tell them these are the problems and these are the solutions, people are, the general audience attention span isn't so good. We know that. But we need to get it across to them in a much more interesting way. And film and television offer that medium. I'll be very pleased if more people get involved in this and take it up as a very, very wonderful opportunity to do so. We all need health. We can't go on without it. And I wish it tremendous success. And I would, on my part and on the part of the Film and Television Producers Guild of India, I can definitely say this much, that we are very willing to help as much as we can to spread this word, and we'll be very proud to do so and to be part of this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We so appreciate your support and your guiding vision. I'd like to talk a little bit about the union of health and entertainment and the ways that health is impacted by what we see on the screen. So let's see if I can. We're having a little technical difficulty. In a minute, this presentation will come up, I guarantee it. But in the meantime, I'd like to talk a little bit about Hollywood Health and Society and share with you the way we serve as a bridge between the entertainment industry in Hollywood and the public health community. So we know that nearly 2/3 of regular viewers of television report learning something new about a disease or how to prevent it from scripted shows, and nearly 1/3 of those viewers take action on what they've learned. I'm going to start with a quote from my colleague and friend, Dr. Zoanne Clack, who is sitting here on the panel and who I will be introducing in just a moment. But she talks about great stories, powerful characters, and meaningful themes, and that great stories actually communicate simple truths, that they reflect the dimensions of the human soul, that powerful characters help us to understand our lives. Their stories reflect our core values, and meaningful themes universalize the human experience, and they help the audience relate. And so it is these stories that we're talking about today. Hollywood Health and Society harnesses the power of entertainment media to improve health and well-being through storytelling. We've been funded for the last 9 years by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. We also have funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the California Endowment, and this whole list of government funding sources. So how do we do this? These are aspects of our model. We start with outreach to the entertainment industry. We do this in 6 different ways, through expert briefings and consultations, and let's start with those. To give you an idea, last year alone, in the span of 12 months, we had 374 inquiries from writers and producers, much like these on the panel tonight, asking us about health topics. They call us and say, we're writing a story about Alzheimer's, and we need access to a medical expert so that we can make the story more compelling by making it more realistic. Now, they're not health educators, and we never suggest what story they should tell, but if they are addressing health, we help them make that accurate. We also do briefings, so if they like, we'll take a medical expert right into the writers' rooms. So with a show like Grey's Anatomy, at times we'll have 20 writers, producers, and executives sitting around a table. And we'll bring in a medical expert who will spend no more than 1 hour, because we won't take more than an hour of their time, briefing them. And basically, the experts tell them stories. They tell them real stories of real people, just like the people we've been meeting in India this week. They also present case studies from the literature. And this gives the creative people ideas, and they take off with it, and the rest is history. We worked last year with 38 different shows in Hollywood across 16 different networks. And this little line at the bottom, for me, is the most important. We confirmed 163 storylines that were aired last year alone that we consulted on to help them make the health content accurate. We also do outreach through panel discussions just like this. We hold them at the Writers Guild of America West in Los Angeles. We get about 100 people in the room, and we present on different topics. So this is just an example. We did a panel discussion on addiction, on global health, another one on organ transplantation called You Want a Piece of Me? And we actually had people who had donated organs, people who had received organs. We had the 2 leading transplant surgeons in the world all on the panel for the writers and producers to inspire them. We also have simple tip sheets. So we have these factual tip sheets on hundreds and hundreds of health topics. And these are all vetted by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And once they're approved, they're posted on the CDC's website, on our website, and they're distributed to writers who are interested. We also have a reel-to-reel newsletter. Everybody in the world has a newsletter, but ours is special. It goes to 800 writers quarterly, and it's very simple. It's 1 page, and on the left column, each one of those little paragraphs is literally 2 sentences. We rip health headlines from the news, and we summarize them in 2 sentences. Now that's enough to get a creative mind engaged. And you'd be surprised at how many of these little tiny stories turn into major storylines on television, reaching millions of people around the world. Another way we do outreach is through an annual Sentinel for Health Awards ceremony. We hold this at the Writers Guild of America West. We get about, we get about 35 entries a year. And last year we gave the Top Drama Award to Army Wives for a storyline on diabetes. Primetime minor storyline went to Private Practice, and we have Jennifer Cecil with us, who's a co-executive producer. I'll introduce her more formally in a moment. And they won for a storyline on childhood schizophrenia. The children's programming was Sesame Workshop, and that storyline was about the way the economic downturn impacts children and their families. So this just gives you an idea of the types of, the range of stories that receive awards. We also do outreach to the public, and we do this in 5 ways. So we do it mainly through storylines on television. Just to give you an example, we work very closely with the show House. Does anybody here watch House? Has anybody seen it? I think it's the #1 drama in the world today. and it reaches over 81 million viewers daily. The Bold and the Beautiful is the top soap opera in the world, and it's been going for almost 50 years, and it reaches 300 million people in 100 countries daily. We work with Desperate Housewives, which is the leading comedy right now. It reaches over 56 million viewers around the world daily. So as you can see, if we have accurate health content in one of these storylines, its impact is really hard to measure because it's so vast. Okay, let's take a look at one quick example. We worked with the writers of the show ER, which went off the air last year, but it's going to be on syndicated rerun for the rest of our lives. And Dr. Atul Gawande served as our expert. He is a Harvard-trained surgeon and a full-time staff writer with the New Yorker magazine. And he happens to work with the World Health Organization on this surgical safety checklist. It's a little tiny piece of paper. You can fold it up and put it in your pocket. It can be translated into any language in the world. It takes 2 minutes to use before surgery. And if used before surgery, the research shows it'll cut complications due to surgery by half, by 50%. 2 minutes. Well, he did a phenomenal briefing with these writers. They were so inspired. They were asking him for his autograph at the end of this briefing. And he was laughing. He thought that was the funniest thing in the world. And let's take a look at the clip that resulted on, it was the third to last episode of ER. Could we turn the lights off, please?
We have a visitor. Now, remember being asked if Dr. Benton could scrub in for this?
I'm a friend of the patient. He asked if I would observe.
Put him under. Let's do this.
Whoa, whoa. What about the checklist?
Excuse me?
Safe surgery checklist?
I've had 10 cases today, Doctor.
All the more reason to take the necessary precautions. It'll only take a minute.
1 minute.
John Carter here for a right cadaveric renal allograft. Correct. Does the patient have a known allergy?
No.
Does anesthesia anticipate a difficult airway?
No.
Is the risk of bleeding greater than 500 cc's?
I sure as hell hope not. Let's go. Put him under.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Everybody slow down. Now let's just take our time and introduce the room.
What's next? We all hold hands and sing Kumbaya?
Sheila Lane, scrub nurse.
Paula Cheney, circulating nurse. Kay Schumacher, anesthesiologist.
Randall Okerman, chief surgical resident. Ethan Dean, surgical intern.
Peter Benton, observing general surgeon. Any concerns from the surgical team?
Oh, that you're wasting my time.
Any nursing concerns?
We don't have any reperfusion solution.
We won't be needing it.
I'll have some sent up.
Were any antibiotics given in the last 60 minutes?
Just starting them now.
10 blade.
Okay, hold on. If you run the antibiotics prior to incision, you cut the risk of infection by half.
Dr. Benton, you're a guest here, and I don't like guests. As a friend of the patient, you're welcome to sit, observe, and shut up. 10 blade. His anastomoses are complete. Releasing the clamps.
Suture lines look good, no leaks.
Have a PDS for the ureter.
Shouldn't it be picking up by now?
What happened to sitting quietly in the corner, Dr. Benton?
No, seriously, shouldn't it be?
Sometimes it takes a minute.
I don't have a parenchymal pulse.
You've got an arterial thrombosis. Reclamp and take down the sutures.
Satensky, please. Where's the clot?
Renal artery is obstructing the blood flow. Gonna have to take it out and start all over again.
Problem solved. Flush with heparin, saline, and reperfusion solution.
Reperfusion solution?
We've got it, we're all set.
Oh, well, it's a good thing we just have some laying around, huh? How long did it take to get the reperfusion solution up from the pharmacy?
15 minutes.
What happens if you don't have the reperfusion solution?
You made your point, Doctor?
No, I disagree, Doctor. I think that this is an excellent teaching opportunity now. You'd have had 15 minutes of warm ischemia, the organ would have taken a major blow, and there's a good chance we would have ended up with a non-functioning kidney. Wouldn't you agree, Doctor?
We're all done teaching here. Perhaps some of you would like to assist me in getting this kidney back into the patient's body.
Where do you get a copy of that checklist?
No, people!
Okay, that's a lot of drama to do behind a surgical mask. You can't see anybody's expression. So as soon as this episode aired, Dr. Atul Gawande texted me. He said that he never believed the surgical checklist would be adopted worldwide until he saw the show on TV. actually brought tears to my eyes because it gave him hope that it could be adopted. The morning after this episode aired, a tool told me that 150 surgeons gathered in a hospital in New York City. They were forced by the head surgeon to watch the entire hour-long episode because there's a great kidney transplant. I mean, there's another, the kidney transplant in here. And at the end of this hour-long episode, they took a vote and agreed to adopt the checklist for their orthopedics practice. So here we have life imitating art. 3 days later, I got an inquiry from the head of quality assurance and quality control in the country, France. He said he had seen, we got a lot of press coverage on this storyline, and he had seen a report in Canadian news, and he asked us to send him this clip so he could show it at his annual stakeholders meeting. It was later shown in Geneva to all the ministers of health from all over the world. So it's interesting how important art really is. Oh, so I also wanted to say we place web links on these shows' websites. So when there is a significant storyline on TV, we place